ability, ability. And the full word, availability, availability. So I start from the end because it's much easier to say a shorter part than the whole word, yeah? So we start from the end. Ability, availability, availability. To be a confident language speaker, we need to be really confident about our pronunciation, so the way we say words. For this reason, in today's video, I want to share with you 3 great ways that will help you practice pronouncing difficult words. So I hope you'll stay with me. By the way, my name is Natalia, I'm a language coach, and let's get things going. So before we actually go to the first way of practicing, I want to tell you that the first thing that you need to really do is start making notes. So start taking down the vocabulary that is difficult for you. So imagine you are in a meeting and there is this word which you hate. Maybe you have those kind of words which you really hate. I want you to start putting those words down on a piece of paper. This will be the most important material that you have, material that will serve you as something that you can use to practice with your teacher or on your own using those tips, okay? So let's imagine that we have the vocabulary and we do have the vocab on the whiteboard. These are the words that I selected, which I know can be tricky for English learners. So how about we use those words today? And the first thing, if you want to really practice pronunciation, the first thing you need to learn to do is exaggerate. So when you are practicing on your own, I want you to start exaggerating the way you say words. You might be thinking, what does it actually mean to exaggerate? What do I mean by that? Well, I don't want you to just pronounce words in the soft and natural and boring way as if you're just chatting to somebody. So this is not what we need. We really need to exaggerate the words, so say them a bit more loudly with a bit more emphasis, yeah? By exaggerating, we actually practice those different muscles in our mouth. So this is why we need to do it. We need to train those muscles, get them ready for a meeting, let's say, because in a meeting you won't be exaggerating that much, but while you're practicing, it's actually okay, right? So how about we practice using our 5 words, and I will be exaggerating a bit, and I want you to do the same thing. So repeat after me, right? Number 1, availability, availability. Psychological, psychological. Determined, determined. Purpose, purpose. Persuasive, persuasive. Yeah? I hope you really used those muscles and you actually could feel them a little bit. Yeah, you could feel the muscles working in your mouth. I hope that was what happened during your practice, because listening won't really be helpful when you want to learn the pronunciation of those words. Okay, so this is the first thing. Use your words and exaggerate them. Exaggerate the way you pronounce them. All right. Tip number 2, the second way to practice the vocab is to build the context. What do I mean by that? Well, usually when we are in a meeting, let's say, we stumble upon the words which are tricky, but we usually have a full sentence, yeah? So it's not enough to just practice separate words. We need to build the context around them and practice in this way. So, for example, if you have the word availability, try to build a sentence with this specific word, yeah? So, for example, we could say, could you please check your availability? Please check your availability. Check your availability, yeah? So we are building more words around this specific word that is tricky, that's difficult for us, okay? So please repeat after me. Please check your availability. What are your psychological needs? What are your psychological needs? Are you determined? Are you determined? The purpose of this meeting is... The purpose of this meeting is... She was very persuasive during this meeting. She was very persuasive during this meeting. All right, so this is only like, I made only one sentence for each of these words, of course, and you can create a couple of different contexts for one word. Yeah, so check your availability. I don't have any availability this week. We can also change it into an adjective, yeah? Are you available tomorrow? Are you available for a meeting tomorrow morning? Yeah? So create different contexts and of course use your experience, use your professional experience, yeah, to come up with sentences which are the most, in a way, relevant for you, okay? So this is tip number 2, and I want you to click the subscribe button if you like this video. I want you to stay with me, of course, if you find this useful. And the last tip, the last way to practice is also very important, especially if we talk about long words, because they are the most difficult in English. So, for example, if we look at the word availability, it's a long one, it's a tricky one. The way to practice this word in a way that's effective is to start from the end, yeah? So let's imagine that we want to divide this word, yeah? So let's say I start with something like this. Ability, ability. And the full word, availability, availability. So I start from the end because it's much easier to say a shorter part than the whole word, yeah? So we start from the end. Ability, availability, availability. Okay? The second one. Equal, equal. Logical, logical. Ecological, ecological. Psychological, psychological. Yeah? So take a look, when we break the word down into syllables or just smaller parts, it's much easier to read it correctly. Yeah, and because we are not focused really on the meaning of the word, but just on the pronunciation. Yeah, so this is how I really encourage you to practice. And please try with the rest of those words as well. Of course, with the shorter ones, maybe it's not that important, yeah? But let's try actually with this one as well. Piss, piss. Purpose, purpose. Okay? Actually, it worked, I think. So guys, 3 pieces of advice for you, or actually 3 ways to practice, yeah? Number 1, exaggerate your pronunciation. Number 2, build context around your words. And number 3, start from the end. Break down the word and start from the end, okay? And remember that the most important thing actually that you need to do in the very beginning is start making notes. Start identifying the words which you find very tricky, all right? And then 3 ways to practice, you've got them here. So if you like this video, please subscribe, and you might also watch the next one over here. Thank you so much for today. Bye-bye.